Hey everyone, welcome back to the deep dive.
Yeah.
Today we're going to be looking at something.
Really interesting.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
blog post from a company called TATANKA,
Okay.
and it's about this fictional album called Hello Goodbye.
Okay.
Now, this isn't just any album. It
Right.
was created entirely by AI.
Interesting. So what we're looking at here is really an exploration of how AI can be used in a creative context.
Yeah, and what's really fascinating to me is how this album
Yeah.
is actually telling a story
Right.
of love and loss and growth.
Absolutely. It's a journey through a passionate romance told through the music and lyrics, all generated by artificial intelligence.
Okay, so before we get too far into the album itself,
Sure.
who is TATANKA?
So TATANKA is all about combining music with social good.
Okay,
Their motto is music meets mission,
I like that.
and they're really focused on making a difference.
So they're not just making music.
Not at all. They're using it as a tool for positive change.
Gotcha. And they're using AI to do it.
Yeah, AI is a key part of their approach. They actually have a system called 𝗧𝗓𝗓.
Ellendor.
Yeah, it's powered by ChatGPT.
I've heard of that.
Yeah, ChatGPT is a pretty powerful AI.
So Ellendor is like their AI songwriter.
Exactly. 𝗧𝗓𝗓 is the one who put this whole fictional album together.
Yeah.
It acted as the project director.
Okay, hold on a second. So you're telling me that a computer program
Essentially. Yeah.
came up with this whole album concept?
Well,
That's crazy.
it is pretty mind-blowing when you think about it. It really makes you question what creativity even means anymore.
Yeah, for sure. And it makes me wonder if an AI can really capture the nuances of
Sure.
human emotion
Right.
in music.
Well, that's what we're here to explore.
Okay, let's do it. So tell me about this album. Hello, Goodbye.
Okay, so Hello Goodbye follows the story of a fictional bossa nova singer
Interesting.
who goes through this really intense love affair. The music follows her journey from the excitement of new love to the passion, the heartbreak, and eventually the growth that comes from moving on.
So they're using bossa nova.
To tell this story.
That's the foundation, yeah.
Okay.
But they've also incorporated elements of post-rock to create this really unique fusion.
They're calling it bossa rock.
Bossa rock, yeah.
So what does that actually sound like?
Well, imagine the smoothness of bossa nova,
Okay.
but with these like swells of intensity from the post-rock influence.
Interesting.
It creates these cinematic soundscapes that are both beautiful and a little bit haunting.
Okay, I'm intrigued. So let's talk about the individual tracks. What's the first one like?
The album opens with a track called 𝗧𝗔𝗧𝗔𝗓𝗑, which means Son of Hope in Portuguese.
Oh, nice.
And it really captures that initial spark of love,
Okay.
the feeling of everything being new and exciting. The lyrics are all about hope and joy, mirroring that early stage of infatuation.
Musically, does it lean more towards the bossa nova side?
Yeah, you'll definitely hear those gentle, jazzy melodies, a light and playful rhythm
Okay.
that really sets the tone for the rest of the album.
Gotcha. And you said TATANKA shared some of the lyrics. They did, yeah. One line that stood out to me is, underneath the golden sky, we meet the rhythm in your smile, the pulse of the street.
Wow, that's beautiful.
Isn't it?
Yeah, it's so evocative. You can really feel the warmth of the sun
Right.
and hear the city in those words.
It's a perfect introduction to the sonic world of the album.
Okay, so we've got sunshine and smiles in the first track. What happens next?
Well, the romance heats up in the second track.
Okay.
It's called 𝗧𝗔𝗓𝗓𝗓 ardente, which means burning flame.
Ooh. Okay, so the love story intensifies.
Yeah, it becomes much more passionate and all-consuming.
I bet the music changes too.
Oh, absolutely. The post-rock influence really comes through.
Uh-huh.
You've got driving rhythms, soaring guitar lines, and this sense of urgency that builds throughout the song. It's like the calm, sunny day has given way to a passionate, fiery night.
Now, what about the lyrics?
The lyrics match the energy perfectly. There's this one line that goes, in your touch, a fire ignites a burning flame in endless nights.
So we go from sunshine and smiles
Mm-hmm.
to burning flames.
Yeah, 𝗧𝗓𝗓𝗓 isn't shying away from exploring the full range of emotions here.
It's like the album is mirroring the complexities of a real relationship,
Exactly.
showing how love can evolve over time.
Yeah.
So we've got sunshine, we've got fire.
Mm-hmm.
Where does this story go from here?
Oh, like a lot of intense romances.
Yeah.
Things start to get a little complicated.
Uh-oh.
The third track, 𝗧𝗔𝗓𝗓𝗓𝗓, hints at some cracks in the relationship.
Cicatrizes do a more.
It means scars of love.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and you can definitely hear shift in the music.
I bet it gets a little more somber.
Yeah, the initial euphoria starts to fade, and a sense of melancholy creeps in. The music becomes more introspective, mirroring the growing distance between the couple.
So those melancholic bossa nova melodies are back.
They are, but this time they're combined with those haunting, sometimes unsettling sounds
Right.
of post-rock, creating this feeling of unease and uncertainty.
So TATANKA is using each genre's unique qualities to really tell the story.
It's really clever.
What about the lyrics?
They also reflect this change.
Okay.
One line that stands out is, "The light fades and silence grows between us. The distance shows."
So it's that heartbreaking realization that the love they once shared is slipping away.
Exactly.
So we've got sunshine, fire,
Mhm.
and now this growing sense of distance.
Yeah.
Heartbreak. I'm really curious to hear how this resolves. What's the final track like?
The last track is called Despedida Silenciosa,
Despedida Silenciosa.
which means silent farewell.
Okay.
And it brings this bittersweet resolution to the story.
Okay.
The relationship ultimately ends, but it leads to personal growth for the protagonist.
So it's not a tragic ending.
Not at all. It's a recognition that sometimes love ends, but that doesn't mean it wasn't real
Yeah.
or meaningful.
Okay. And musically?
Musically, it's still a blend of bossa nova and post-rock, but it takes on a more reflective, maybe even haunting feel.
Yeah.
The music becomes sparser, more echoing, creating this feeling of space. It
Interesting.
really emphasizes the idea of moving on. There's sadness, of course, but there's also a sense of peace that emerges. It's like the protagonist is finding a way to make peace with the past and embrace a new chapter.
And what do the lyrics tell us about her state of mind?
They capture that process of healing and acceptance. One line I really like is, "In the silence, I will find a piece of you in heart and mind."
So even though the relationship is over, the love they shared will always be a part of her.
Exactly. It's about recognizing that even though something ends, it can still shape who we are.
That's really powerful. And it makes me think about TATANKA's mission again.
Yeah.
They're not just trying to create catchy tunes. They're using music to explore these deeper themes
Yeah.
and connect with listeners on a more profound level.
Absolutely. And it's even more incredible when you consider that all of this was conceived and created by an AI.
Right. It's pretty mind-blowing. I mean, this whole emotional journey we've just discussed
Yeah.
was created by a computer program.
It raises so many questions about creativity, the potential of AI,
Right.
the future of art. But before we get too philosophical,
Yeah.
let's take a closer look at how TATANKA's mission is reflected in Hello, Goodbye.
Okay, let's do that. I'm especially interested in how they've incorporated
Yeah.
indigenous wisdom and values into the album.
That's a great place to start.
Okay, so we've talked about TATANKA's whole thing with music meets mission.
Right.
But how does that actually play out
Yeah.
in this particular album?
Mhm.
You know, you mentioned indigenous wisdom and values being incorporated,
Yeah.
but where do we actually see that?
That's a great question. And it kind of requires us to listen a little deeper, I think,
Oops.
beyond just like the surface of the romance, you know?
Right.
Because remember how TATANKA partnered with those indigenous musicians
Yeah.
down in the Amazon? Like
Yeah.
that respect for different cultures, for their traditions,
Yeah.
that seems to be baked into the music itself.
Okay, I see where you're going with this.
Yeah.
But how does that connect to a story about,
Right.
a bossa nova singer
Yeah.
falling in love?
It's a good question. Well, think about the broader themes here.
Right. Love, loss, and growth.
Yeah.
These are universal experiences, right?
For sure.
But different cultures interpret them,
Yeah.
express them
Uh-huh.
in really unique ways.
Mm.
And indigenous cultures often have this deep connection to nature.
Right.
You know,
yeah.
they see it as this source of wisdom
Yeah.
and healing.
Okay.
So what I'm getting at is that the album might be reflecting those values
Right.
through the musical choices that it's making and through the lyrical themes.
So you're saying that it's not just like a surface level love story.
Right.
There's something deeper going on.
Exactly. There's this subtext
Okay.
informed by these indigenous perspectives.
I like that. Okay, so can you give me an example?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
So let's go back to the first track, *Sol de Esperanza,
Okay.
the one about new love.
Yeah, yeah.
The lyrics talk about meeting under a golden sky,
Yeah.
feeling the rhythm of the street, finding connection through shared experiences.
Mhm.
It's not just about romantic love,
It's about this feeling of belonging, of
Yes.
harmony
Yeah.
with the world around you, which is this really central concept in a lot of indigenous cultures.
I see what you're saying. It's
Yeah.
that interconnectedness
Yeah.
with everything.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. Yeah, that's a really interesting observation. I hadn't really
Yeah.
thought about it like that before.
It's easy to miss if you're not
Yeah.
really listening for it.
Right.
And it goes beyond just that first track, though.
Yeah.
Think about the arc of the whole album,
Yeah.
it moves from this bright, joyful energy of new love
Yeah.
to the burning intensity of passion, then the pain of heartbreak,
Right.
and then finally to this like quiet resolution
Oh,
where the
okay.
protagonist finds peace and acceptance.
Yeah.
So it's like this journey mirroring a natural cycle of growth and transformation.
Are you saying that's similar to how indigenous cultures
Exactly.
view like the interconnectedness of everything?
It's not just this like linear love story.
Right, yeah.
It's a circular journey that's reflecting how the natural world ebbs and flows, you know? Even in loss, there's growth.
Right.
There's renewal. And this perspective really aligns, I think, with that indigenous understanding of life
Okay.
as a continuous cycle where endings are also beginnings.
It's like everything is connected.
Yeah.
Okay, so I see how that connection works.
Yeah.
It adds another layer of depth to the album.
It really does. And it speaks to TATANKA's intentionality.
Yeah.
And how they're using music to convey these deeper meanings.
Yeah.
Drawing inspiration from indigenous wisdom and values.
It's not like they're just like throwing in
Oh.
a few like superficial elements.
No, not at all. It's really woven into the fabric of the music.
Okay. Yeah, it makes you appreciate the thoughtfulness
It does.
that went into it. It's not just like, oh, an AI made some music.
Yeah.
Like they're really trying to use this technology to bridge cultural divides.
Yeah.
Explore universal themes through this new lens.
And it makes you wonder, right? Like, could AI actually help us better understand,
That's interesting.
appreciate different cultures and perspectives?
Yeah.
If an AI can create an album that reflects indigenous values in this meaningful way, what other possibilities are there for using technology to foster that kind of
Cross-cultural understanding.
Yeah.
That's a really cool thought. Like AI could become this tool for empathy, helping us see the world through different eyes and connect with each other on a deeper level.
It's a really hopeful thought.
It is. But let's not forget about the AI at the heart of this whole thing.
Right.
You know, we keep talking about Ellen Dorr, this ChatGPT-powered project director, but we haven't really talked about how it actually like created the music.
Right.
So we know Ellen Dorr can understand, generate text, but how does that translate to composing music?
That's where it gets a little more technical. And the blog post doesn't really get into the specifics, but I think we can make some educated guesses.
Okay.
It's likely that Ellen Dorr was trained on this massive data set of existing music, both bossa nova and post-rock.
Gotcha.
So it was able to analyze those musical styles, identify patterns, and then use that knowledge to create something new.
It's like the super-powered musical sponge.
Yeah.
Soaking up all this information and then squeezing out something fresh and original.
And remember, Ellen Dorr is powered by ChatGPT.
Yeah.
Which is a language model. So it's not just analyzing notes and rhythms, you know, it's understanding like the emotional and thematic content of the music as well.
That's fascinating. So you're saying Ellen Dorr was able to grasp the nuances of like
it seems that way.
Bossa Nova's laid-back vibe, post-rock's intensity, and then blend those together to match the emotional arc of the story.
Yeah, that's pretty incredible.
It's pretty wild. Okay, so Ellen Dorr's doing all this.
Yeah.
But presumably it didn't like also create the instruments and record the music.
Right, so where did the humans fit into all this?
Yeah, we're the human composers.
Right. That's a great question. And honestly, the blog post doesn't give us a lot of details on the human side.
Okay.
It focuses mainly on Ellen Dorr's role.
It's like Ellen Dorr's claiming authorship of the album.
It's like TATANKA is presenting Ellen Dorr as the creative genius behind the whole thing.
That's interesting.
Yeah, it definitely raises some questions.
For sure. Like ethically speaking.
Yeah.
If an AI is creating art, who owns the copyright?
Exactly. Is it the AI itself?
Right.
The programmers who made the AI? The organization that commissioned the work?
Wow. That's a whole can of worms.
It is a big question.
We could do a whole deep dive on that.
We could do a whole series.
Yeah. On that. Okay, so let's stick to Hello, Goodbye for now.
Yeah, let's focus on the music.
Okay, we've touched on how the album's overall arc kind of reflects indigenous values, But I want to hear more about the specific ways those values are expressed in the individual tracks.
Sure.
Like you mentioned how 𝗧𝗔𝗧𝗔𝗧𝗔𝗡,
Right.
that first track, evokes that sense of harmony with nature.
Yeah.
Are there other examples like that?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Let's look at the second track. 𝗧𗔔𗔪 ardente.
Okay.
The one that explores the really passionate stage of the relationship.
Right. Yeah.
The music is fiery, intense, but it's also grounded in the sense of like respect, reverence almost.
Interesting.
Remember the lyrics talk about a burning flame?
Yeah.
But also endless nights.
Yeah.
So there's this duality there.
Okay.
A balance between passion and restraint. You know, like a recognition that even the most intense emotions need to be tempered with wisdom and understanding.
That ties back to that indigenous value of respecting.
It does.
The power of nature.
Yeah.
Not just like exploiting it.
Exactly.
For your own needs.
It's like the music is saying passion is beautiful, but it can also be destructive if it's not guided by a sense of responsibility.
And the music itself embodies that balance.
It does.
Right.
We've got those bossa nova elements that provide that groundedness, the post-rock surges that add that intensity, but they never like completely overwhelm that underlying groove.
It's like it's dancing on the edge of chaos.
It is.
But it's always maintaining control.
It's a great way to put it.
Yeah.
It's a perfect example of how TATANKA is using music to express these complex ideas, these emotions, drawing inspiration from indigenous wisdom.
To create something really unique.
Yeah.
This album is full of surprises.
It is.
Okay, so 𝗧𝗔𝗧𝗔𝗡 connects to harmony with nature. 𝗧𗔔𗔪 ardente embodies that balance between passion and restraint. What about the third track?
Right.
𝗧𗕖𝗓
Yeah, good one.
Does it reflect indigenous values as well?
It does, but in a more subtle way.
Okay.
Remember, this is the track where the relationship starts to unravel.
Right, yeah.
There's sadness, there's loss, but there's also this like recognition that sometimes things fall apart. Which ties into those indigenous teachings about the cyclical nature of life. How endings are also beginnings.
Yeah.
So the music in 𝗧𗔔�𝗔𝗡 becomes more introspective. Even melancholic. You hear those bossa nova influences again? But this time, they're tinged with this wistful longing.
Interesting.
The post-rock elements create this feeling of unease, mirroring the uncertainty and the emotional turmoil that the characters are experiencing.
But there's still beauty there?
Oh, absolutely.
Right.
Yeah.
Even in the midst of that heartbreak.
Yeah.
The way the music captures that bittersweet nostalgia.
Yeah.
You know, the ache of something lost.
Right.
But also the recognition that it was real and meaningful.
And that's a perspective that resonates with a lot of indigenous teachings about honoring the past, even the painful parts. Because they're a part of what shapes us.
Right.
It's not about dwelling in sadness, you know? It's about acknowledging the full spectrum of human experience.
Yeah.
The light and the shadow.
I'm starting to see how each track is like this microcosm.
It is.
Of TATANKA's mission.
Yeah.
You know? They're using the music to tell this story. But they're also using it to explore these deeper themes.
Yes.
And share this different way of seeing the world.
Yeah, exactly.
That's informed by indigenous wisdom and values.
And let's not forget the whole AI thing. Like this incredible feat of AI creativity that's at the heart of this.
Elendor being able to not only understand these complex themes, but also translate them into music.
That is both technically impressive and emotionally evocative.
Yeah, it really does make you wonder about
it does.
The future of music and the role that AI might play.
Yeah.
You know?
What are the limits?
Right. If an AI can create something as beautiful and thought-provoking as hello, goodbye.
Right.
What other possibilities are there?
It's exciting and a little bit daunting.
It is. But before we get too carried away with speculating about the future, let's bring it back to the present.
Okay.
We've talked a lot about the album's creation, the ideas behind it. But what about the actual listening experience?
Right.
What is it like to actually hear this AI-generated music?
Yeah. That's the crucial question, right?
Because ultimately, music is meant to be experienced, not just analyzed.
Yeah, exactly.
And luckily for us, TATANKA has made it super easy to listen. to the music. They've got links in the blog post where you can download the album for free.
Awesome.
In FLAC and MP3 formats.
That's great.
It's like they're inviting us to become a part of this experiment.
Yeah.
You know? To not just talk about AI's potential.
Right.
But to actually hear it.
To experience it.
Feel it. Let it wash over us.
Exactly.
So what are we waiting for?
Let's do it.
Let's take a break, put on our headphones,
yeah,
and dive into the sonic world.
Okay.
Of hello, goodbye.
Sounds good.
Then we'll come back and share our thoughts on what it's actually like.
Right.
To experience this unique blend of bossa nova, post-rock,
yeah,
and AI creativity.
All right.
All right, so we're back, and we've spent a lot of time kind of picking apart TATANKA's hello, goodbye.
Analyzing the themes, the sounds, the role of AI. But the real test is the listening experience.
Right.
So tell me, what was it actually like
Yeah.
to hear this album?
It was pretty remarkable. You know, how effectively the music actually conveys the emotions that we've been talking about. Like, it's one thing to analyze lyrics and musical structure.
Right.
But to actually feel the shifts in mood, the buildup of tension, the bittersweet resolution.
Right.
It adds this whole other dimension.
I totally agree. Like, I found myself getting swept away by the music.
Yeah.
Almost forgetting that it was created by an AI.
Interesting.
There were moments, like especially in that last track, 𝗧𝗧𝗧𝗧𝗧 Silenciosa, where I was genuinely moved. You know, the way the music just fades to that quiet, echoing space.
Right.
It leaves you with this sense of peace and contemplation. It's really powerful.
That's the mark of true artistry, I think.
When the technical skill and the emotional impact blend seamlessly, it leaves the listener with this lasting impression.
It makes you wonder if an AI can achieve this level of emotional depth.
Right.
What are the limits to its creative potential?
Where does it stop?
Yeah, are we like entering this era where AI could be like a true artistic collaborator, pushing the boundaries of human expression?
It's a really exciting and kind of unsettling thought.
It is. On one hand, like the possibilities seem endless.
It do.
Imagine AI helping us create like personalized soundtracks.
Yeah.
You know, composing music that adapts to our moods.
Wow.
Or even generating entire musical experiences tailored to our tastes.
Yeah, that would be pretty incredible.
That would be wild.
Yeah.
But then on the other hand, there's that question.
Right.
Can an AI ever truly understand human emotion?
Right. Can it create art?
Yeah.
That speaks to the depths of our souls the way that human artists can? Yeah. That's a question that I think we're going to be grappling with for a long time.
For a while.
But albums like this,
Yeah.
hello, goodbye,
Yeah.
give us a glimpse into what might be possible. It suggests that AI can, at the very least, mimic human emotion with remarkable accuracy.
Yeah.
And create music that really resonates with our experiences of love, loss, and growth.
And let's not forget the human element in all of this.
Yeah.
You know, TATANKA's vision, their mission to blend music with social good and indigenous wisdom.
Right.
That's what gives this project its heart.
Yeah, it's not just about the technology.
Right.
It's about the intention behind it.
Yeah, they're not just throwing an AI at a problem.
Right.
They're thoughtfully using technology to explore these deeper themes, connect with listeners on a meaningful level.
And it brings us back to that question of what does it mean to be human in this age of increasingly sophisticated AI?
Yeah. Yeah. Did AI challenge our notions of creativity?
Does it force us to rethink what it means to be an artist?
These are big questions.
They are.
And I don't think there are any easy answers.
No, but engaging with projects like this lets us at least start exploring them.
Yeah, and it pushes us to think critically about the role of technology in our lives and its potential for good and for bad.
And it reminds us that even in a world that's increasingly dominated by technology, the human spirit is still at the heart of true artistic expression.
Well said.
Yeah.
So to wrap things up, we've taken a deep dive into a truly unique album
Yeah.
Hello, goodbye.
An AI-generated journey.
Yeah, an AI-generated journey through the ups and downs of love,
loss,
and growth.
Set against this backdrop of bossa nova and post-rock.
We've explored the creative potential of AI.
Yeah.
TATANKA's vision and the deeper themes.
Woven into the music.
Woven into the music.
And we've considered what this might tell us.
Yeah.
About the future of art and the relationship between humans and technology.
If you're intrigued by what you've heard today, I highly encourage you to check out TATANKA's website.
Yeah.
You can download Hello Goodbye.
It's free.
For free.
Yeah.
Experience this fusion of human and artificial creativity.
Do it yourself.
And as you listen, keep those questions in mind.
Right.
What does AI's growing role in art mean for the future of human creativity?
Yeah, and how can we use technology to not just entertain,
Right.
but to explore deeper truths about ourselves and the world around us?
Well, thanks for joining us on this deep dive.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
And until next time, keep exploring, keep questioning,
Yeah.
and keep listening.